A desperate listener in Houston, Texas has a difficult question. He says, would I lose my salvation if I committed suicide?
Well, if you have your salvation, if you are saved, then you won't lose your salvation. But you can't lose what you don't have. And there's always a question about a suicide, especially if they're in their right mind. And I can't help but believe that the suicide is one that has gone off his rocker, if you please. That is, he's not rowing but with one oar when he does a thing like that. I believe that the Christian may actually contemplate suicide, and there's no sin in that. Martin Luther said, well, you can't keep birds from flying over your head, but you can keep them from roosting in your hair. So that temptation, I would think, comes to most people. I know as a young man, before I was saved, I did not see any future for myself at all. My dad had died when I was 14, and I had a job that didn't pay very much, and I didn't see much of a future for me. And naturally, I did, I think, what other young people do. I thought about it. That's all I did, is just think about it. And I don't think I could ever been brought to it, even if some crisis had arisen, because of the desire to want to live. And I think that's the normal experience. I think one of the tragedies of our school system today, there's a lot wrong with it, but one of the things that's radically wrong, that they're not given any motivation today. There is nothing offered to them that ennobles them and lifts them up. I always think of what Douglas MacArthur said, and he came back, the three great words, duty, courage, and loyalty. Those are three things that are not given to young people today at all in school. And as a result, why they have no purpose. And that's one of the reasons we're having the suicides among young people today, is that if they were given something worthwhile, this cheap stuff that's being peddled today, this pinko communism that is being handed out, socialism, liberalism today, with its wrong thinking and that sort of thing. And may I say to you, if you're a child of God, doing that would be an awful sin, but it would not rob you of your salvation at all. But if you've trusted Christ, you're saved.
Are you considering suicide? Do you feel the pressure of life pressing all around you? Or maybe you feel, as Dr. McGee once did, that there's no hope in your future. Well, we know that suicide is a difficult issue to deal with. As Dr. McGee has said, it's hard to know the circumstances which lead a person to take their own life. If you've been thinking in any way about suicide, we would encourage you to seek help locally from a Bible-believing church, pastor, or counselor who could assist you in this area. We may not be able to fully understand your needs, but Scripture provides a story of a man who does. And to help you in these distressing times, Dr. McGee has a booklet called Job, A Man Stripped Bare. If you find yourself asking these difficult questions about life and the future, we hope that you'd contact us and order this booklet. If you wish to order a cassette or CD copy of today's broadcast, the booklet about Job, or Dr. McGee's book on prophecy, you can do so when you contact one of our helpful service operators at 1-800-652-4253, Monday through Thursday from 6 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. Pacific Time. We'd like to remind you that we're continuing Dr. McGee's 5-year journey on the Bible Bus this week on the Through the Bible radio program that can be heard on this station. To be placed on our mailing list for our monthly newsletter and the notes and outlines for our current study, call 1-800-65-BIBLE, or use our internet order form, or download them from our website at ttb.org. You can always write to Questions and Answers in the U.S., Box 7100, Pasadena, California, 91109. In Canada, Box 25325, London, Ontario, N6C 6B1. Now, until this same time next week, we'll continue to pray that God will answer all your questions and solve all your problems.